Donald Trump has an economy problem. An economy problem. At this recent rally that he had in Pennsylvania, the numbers weren't looking too good. Wasn't looking too good for Donald Trump. You can see this here for yourself. Really American shared this. You can hear a pin drop at Trump's rally as he lies to Pennsylvanians about prices fall flat. So listen to this, guys. Again, this is not the usual crowd that you see at a Trump rally either. Listen to this.
2.9. Look at that. Our prices are coming down. Their prices, it's a hoax. They're just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act. Remember that? Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. The inflation, and after they got it approved, because we had a few Republicans that went along with that whole hoax. 2.9. Look at that. Our prices are coming down. Their prices, it's a hoax. They're just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act. Remember that?
So Donald Trump is lying his ass off. Pennsylvania is one of the states in the U.S. that still has that federal minimum wage at $7.50 an hour. It's a swing state as well. This rally, and I'll show you another image here. This rally was not well attended like his other rallies have been in the past. So lying to people in Pennsylvania of all places. Now, of course, there's always going to be the simps. There's always going to be people that are like, we love you no matter what. And that's the people at this rally. But you can't continue lying to the American people and telling them that the prices are coming down when they're not. For those of us that shop, those of us that go grocery shopping, we know the prices aren't coming down. But that's what Donald Trump is doing. And you will notice, let me show you this one. Shout out to this gentleman here, that Patriot Voice. Watch this. Oh boy, this is much worse than I thought. Trump's first live rally in a long time only shows 55,000 live viewers on X currently. He can't even pull 100,000 live viewers on X during prime time and only 1.7K on Facebook. It used to be when Trump was doing rallies, the live view numbers would be in the many hundreds of thousands, even millions, especially on large social media platforms. So I'm not saying this. I'm not saying it just to say it. It is real raw data. These numbers are embarrassing and abysmal for Trump. But most importantly, they paint a vivid picture of the general sentiment, and it speaks volumes towards Trump and this administration currently. This certainly does not bode well at all for the GOP midterms. We, the people, have to come to the realization that we have been crossed by MAGA. So many people are tuning out. Check it out, guys. So he took screenshots here. So at one point, 55,000 viewers there on X, which is low for him. That's low. And then on Facebook, 1.7K viewers for a Trump rally. That's low. And check it out, fam. You know, I think that poster has a point. I think more and more people just aren't falling for the BS anymore. I mean, people can only lie to you about your own wallet for so long before it really whoa, you're lying to me. Donald Trump ran on a populist message because he knows it works. But that doesn't mean he actually plans on accomplishing these things. Because people tell you anything when they're campaigning. Now I want you to think about something for a second. That's the president of the United States. Only 55,000 people are watching him on X. How many people, let me look this up. How many people watch Candace Owens when she's live? Give me a number. Throw out numbers in the chat. And I say this because that's someone who voted for him. That's someone who supported him. They're a part of the same party. Oh, actually, I don't know if she's still part of that now, but they were a part of the same party. How many people? We throwing out numbers here? How many people watch Isaac said 1 million. Dark Knight said 800,000. Barry said 130,000. I'm seeing 130, 122, 200,000, over 200. Okay, you guys get the point. Trump's in trouble and the Republican Party is in trouble. And yes, the midterms are right around the corner. People are starting to see it. You know what else? The Epstein files didn't help either, bud. The Epstein files really did not help. But people are just looking at the kitchen table issues. PSL shared this. As Americans brace for an unexpected rise in energy costs this winter for 7.6%, Trump claimed that prices are coming down tremendously during a rally in Pennsylvania as he stood under a large banner with the words "lower prices, bigger paychecks." In reality, the only people experiencing bigger paychecks are the billionaire class who saw their already monstrous wealth increase by 18% in 2025. Here's a graphic here. Let's talk about this 7.6%. I don't know how many of you live in the Northeast, but this winter has been really cold. Typically here in Massachusetts, yes, we have long winters. Yes, it gets cold, but it usually doesn't get this cold before Christmas. January and February are usually our coldest months during the winter. It has been so cold that I had to turn the heat up to, and don't get mad at me, but I had to turn the heat up to one night, I had to turn it up to 75. That's how cold it has been. Now, I haven't gotten the electric bill yet, but I'm scared because I don't know what it's going to be. It has been very cold. It's been very dry. And so when it gets down to like 20 degrees, sometimes 18, 15, or my favorite is when it says it's 20 degrees outside, but it feels like 10 degrees. You have to crank up the heat because even inside the house, it's still going to be relatively cold. So I'm scared. I don't know what the bill's going to be, but I know it's not going to be cheap. I'm just keeping it real. So I don't know. And I have an electric blanket and I'm saying this. So the energy costs are going up for a lot of us, particularly here in the Northeast. And I would imagine the Midwest as well. Eric said, I sit in front of a space heater. Yeah, be careful with those, Eric. Be careful. Okay. Jay said he could care less Venezuela. Yeah. He's focused on Venezuela, right? He's focused on attacking other countries, going after other people. In fact, he mentioned something like that at the rally. He brings up the shithole countries thing again when he should be focused on our economic issues right here.
I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries. I didn't say shit, all you did. Remember I said that to the senators they came in, the Democrats. They wanted to be bipartisan. So they came in and they said, this is totally off the record. Nothing mentioned here. We want to be honest because our country was going to hell. And we had a meeting. And I say, why is it we only take people from shithole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark, do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people. Do you mind?
What he's basically saying is to send us white people, right? The Europeans, right? So let me ask you guys a question. Why is he even focused on who should be sent to the US when the US is falling apart? Our infrastructure is falling apart. People aren't getting paid what they should. I hope no one's looking for a job right now because my friends that have been looking for jobs, it's not looking too good. Contract, temp, maybe. No benefits with those positions. I have a friend that's been looking for a permanent job for almost a year. And all they've been able to get is temp or contract. And they have experience. So what does that tell you? What's really going on? But he's focused on, oh, can we get these people instead of these people? We don't even have our stuff straight right here. We have increase in homelessness, which remember, Trump said he was going to fix all these things. And I tried to warn people that he wasn't going to fix this either. People getting laid off by the thousands from different companies. And you sit up there focusing on, again, it's another distraction. Let's talk badly about people from Somalia and all these different countries so that you're not focused on Donald Trump ain't doing shit for you economically right now. Nothing. So he wants to distract you and get you to hate everybody else abroad. So you're not focused on the fact that you barely getting by. Maybe I won't notice the cost of these steaks if I just focus on the fact that those damn Somalians. It's all a distraction. And guess what? It's not 2016 anymore, Trump. It's not 2016 anymore. The same lines that he used to say, it don't hit the way it used to hit, you know? People aren't falling for it the way they used to. That's why this rally was small as fuck. That's why a lot of people weren't watching it the way that they used to, because people starting to see through him too. Good. Rich people look out for rich people. Donald Trump is rich. He looks out for his buddies. That's why you're not getting those Epstein files. That's why you ain't getting a load of that, because he knows some of his homies up in there, all up in them sheets. That's why.
But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships.
It's really sad, isn't it? I mean, you call those countries names, but you bomb those countries. And then people wonder, oh, I wonder why it is that way. Now, there's going to be, of course, the cultists that are going to follow him regardless. Here they are chanting 4 more years.
They never talk. Thank you very much. They say I'm not allowed to run. I don't know what the hell that's all about, but that's okay. He said 4 more years. You see the new hat? We have 4 more years. 2028. We have all sorts of...
You notice how quiet that sounds? It's not as many people there as you think. These are the cultists, right? They worship this guy. He's their hero, Lord and Savior. That part of the crowd. Now, you had some of them with Biden too. Don't get me wrong. You do see it on both sides. But look at this. You know he knows there's a problem, because look at this crazy rant that he posted. Cucktard shared this. Trump sending out his resume now. His teeny tiny little rally obviously didn't convince him that MAGA isn't crumbling. So he goes on to say here, let me just put this up this way. Actually, I'll go back this way because it's bigger this way. There has never been a president that has worked as hard as me. My hours are the longest, and my results are among the best. I've stopped 8 wars. This is a blatant lie. Saving many millions of lives in the process, created the greatest economy in the history of our country. This is hilarious. Brought business back into the U.S. at levels never seen before, rebuilt our military, created the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts ever, closed our open and very dangerous southern border when previous administrations were unable to do so, and created an aura around the U.S. Let's go on here. He goes on to say, in addition to all of that, I go out of my way to do long, thorough, and very boring medical examinations at the Great Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, seen and supervised by top doctors, all of whom have given me perfect marks. Some even said they have never seen such strong results. I do these tests because I owe it to our country. In addition to the medical, I've done something that no other president has done on 3 separate occasions, the last one being recently, but taking what is known as a cognitive examination, something which few people would be able to do very well, including those working at the New York Times. I aced all 3 of them in front of large numbers of doctors and experts, most of whom I don't know. Guys, this reads like a 12-year-old wrote this. In front of large crowds of experts, most of whom I don't know. He knows they're in trouble. And so it's like, let me put my resume out there for all the peeps to see. He goes on to say, they are true enemies of the people. He's talking about the New York Times, and we should do something about it. They have inaccurately reported on all of my election results, and in fact, were forced to apologize for what they wrote. Blah, 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 blah. Make America great again. That's what he says. Dude has lost it. This was the number one thing that he ran on, that he said that he was going to fix, was the economy. He said, Biden and Kamala messed it up. I'm going to get it back. I'm going to get it back. And now he's lying to people to their face, telling them everything's going great. Just look at how these prices are coming down. And it's funny what people would believe just because someone said something in front of them. My hero said it, so it's got to be true. So much to the point that they would even ignore their own eyes, their own bank accounts, because they want to still be a stan. Donald Trump's economy will cost Republicans in the midterm. We're going to see it happen. And you know what's interesting about all this? He keeps bringing up the Democrats. Republicans have control of the House and the Senate and the White House. He still keeps bringing up Joe Biden. And look, we had our criticisms of Biden too. He keeps bringing up Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not president anymore. This is the economy under Donald Trump. New boss, still shady, still looking out for corporate interests, still looking out for the military industrial complex and not the working class. And this is going to be very telling come 2028. Very telling. So people need to get fired up. Donald Trump isn't even fired up at that rally. He's just like, I don't know if I don't think he drinks, but I don't know if he took a sip of something. I don't know. Because he was just kind of like, they said I couldn't do it and I'm here, look at that. Those numbers are going down. Doesn't work anymore. Does not work anymore. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.